Okay, today we're making a homemade, super moist and luxurious ding dong cake inspired by the classic chocolate snack cakes. It features rich, moist chocolate cake layers filled with a light creamy filling and coated in a smooth chocolate ganache. It is honestly so good. So we'll start by making the chocolate ganache first so that it has plenty of time to cool and thicken while we prepare everything else. So in a microwave safe bowl, combine 250 grams or 1.5 cups of roughly chopped semi-sweet chocolate, 240 grams or 1 cup of heavy cream, and 15 grams or 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. And then you want to microwave it in 20-second bursts, whisking well in between each burst until the chocolate is completely melted and smooth. You want to be careful not to overheat it. Now you want to cover the surface with plastic wrap, making sure it's touching the ganache to prevent skin from forming, and then just leave it to cool at room temperature so that it starts to thicken up. You want it to be slightly thick but still smooth, spreadable, and easy to pour. Now next we're going to make the chocolate cake. So you want to preheat your oven to 350F or 180C conventional and grease two 8-inch cake pans. I use my homemade cake release. And then you also want to line the bottoms with parchment paper. Now in a medium bowl, you want to sift together 210 grams or 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 75 grams or 3/4 of a cup of Dutch processed cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then you want to whisk everything together until well combined and set it aside for now. Next, in a large bowl, you want to add in 200 grams or 1 cup of soft light brown sugar, 200 grams or 1 cup of white granulated sugar, 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of room temperature whole milk, 56 grams or 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter, 105 grams or half a cup of unflavored vegetable oil, I use canola oil, 2 large room temperature eggs, and 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and then whisk everything together until smooth and well combined. Now next you want to add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and gently whisk until it's just combined. You want to be careful not to overmix. Now next you want to pour in 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of strong hot coffee. I like to combine 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder with 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of hot water, and then just whisk until the batter is nice and smooth. Again, you don't want to overmix the batter. It will be quite thin, but that's exactly what gives this cake its incredibly soft and moist texture. Now you want to divide the batter evenly between the prepared cake pans and then gently tap the pans on the counter to remove any large air bubbles, and then they are ready to bake for about 35 to 38 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs. Now you want to let the cakes cool in the pans for about 20 minutes before carefully running a thin knife around the edges to release the cakes from the cake pans and then turning them out onto a wire rack to cool completely. Now while the cake's cool, we're going to make the ermine frosting filling. Now you want to place a saucepan over medium heat and add 150 grams or 3/4 of a cup of white granulated sugar and 40 grams or 5.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and then just whisk continuously for about 2 minutes to gently toast the flour. You don't want the color to visibly change. Next, add 120 grams or half a cup of whole milk and whisk until completely smooth, and then pour in a further 120 grams or half a cup of milk and whisk again until everything is lump-free. Now you want to continue stirring until the mixture starts to bubble, and then once it's bubbling, cook for another minute until it thickens into a smooth pudding-like paste. Now you want to transfer the mixture onto a plate, press a piece of plastic wrap directly onto the surface and let it cool to room temperature. To speed up the process, I like to pop mine into the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes. You just want to make sure that it's no longer warm or cold before using it. Now once at room temperature, you want to add 227 grams or 1 cup of room temperature unsalted butter to a large bowl, and then beat it with a hand mixer, or a stand mixer works too, on medium-high speed for about 5 minutes, or until it's pale, light and fluffy. Now with the mixer running, you want to add the cooled flour mixture 1 tablespoon at a time, making sure each addition is fully incorporated before adding in the next. Now you want to finish by adding 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and then mix until the frosting is silky smooth and fluffy. Now if you have a lot of air bubbles in your frosting, then just mix for 1 minute on a low speed and see if that helps. Otherwise your frosting may just be slightly too cool, and so you can warm it gently in the microwave just for like 5-second bursts at a time, giving it a stir in between each burst until the frosting is super smooth and doesn't have as many bubbles. Now once that's done, we are ready to assemble our ding dong cake. So first you want to use a serrated knife and level the tops of the cake layers so that they're nice and flat. Next, you want to place the first cake layer onto your serving plate or cake stand and spread all of the ermine frosting evenly over the top. It may seem like a lot, but trust me, you want to use it all up. Next, you want to place the second cake layer on top and use an offset spatula to smooth out the filling, making sure to fill in any gaps. If the frosting is too far inside the cake, you can push the top layer down gently to squeeze the filling outwards and then smooth it out. Now next you want to grab the ganache from earlier. It should have thickened slightly. You want to give it a quick stir and then pour it over the top of the cake, and then use an offset spatula to spread it over the top and down the sides until the whole cake is coated. You can leave it with a rustic finish or smooth it with a cake scraper if you'd like a cleaner look. Now my ganache was a little runny, so I spread it out in a few kind of separate layers to get a nice thick coating. Now next you want to refrigerate the cake for about 30 minutes to allow the ganache to set. Now once set, you want to slice into the cake and enjoy. I find the best way to get nice neat slices is to use a knife that's been dipped in hot water and wiped clean. I forgot to do this while filming, so the ganache does kind of look a little bit rough, but you know, it still tastes just as incredible. This ding dong cake gives you the most delicious combination of rich chocolate cake, light vanilla filling, and silky chocolate ganache in every bite. It is so good, and the best part is it isn't overly sweet. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this ding dong cake a go, then please do leave a review on our blog. It really helps our content out here at Cakes by MK, and I'll see you in the next video.